Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. We're here to cut through the noise and give you the clearest insights on what really matters in the market. Today, we're zeroing in on a tech giant that's been making pretty big waves in the cloud space, Oracle. We're getting ready for their upcoming earnings report, and we're going to help you understand what to watch for. Before we jump in, if you find value in what we do, please hit that subscribe button, maybe give us a like, and leave a comment. Your support helps us, well, immensely. You could also consider buying us a coffee. It helps fuel these discussions. And importantly, if there's a specific company you'd like us to look into, please leave a comment below and let us know. Okay, so let's unpack this. Oracle is estimated to report its Q1 FY 2026 earnings pretty soon. We're looking at Monday, September 8th, 2025, after the market closes. Now, just a heads up, this date is based on predictive algorithms and, past trends. Oracle hadn't formally confirmed it last we checked. So as we gear up, what should we really be looking at in this report? What are the expectations?
Yeah, it's interesting. We don't have the full consensus data for Q1 FY 2026 from, say, Refinitiv or FactSet in our sources right now, but we can learn a lot by looking back. Take Q4 FY 2025, for instance. Oracle actually beat expectations then. They brought in $15.90 billion in revenue. The estimate was $15.58 billion, and EPS was $1.70 against an estimate of $1.64. So this tendency to sort of outperform analyst estimates, that's a pattern worth noting. It suggests they might be conservative with guidance or just executing really well.
Right, so they've shown they can pull out a positive surprise. Okay, and speaking of expectations, what about that whisper number we sometimes hear about? Any hints there?
Good question. That's always floating around, isn't it? Unfortunately, our sources don't give us an explicit whisper number for this quarter. You usually find those on specialized sites like Earnings Whispers, and we just don't have that specific data point here. But what we do have is Oracle's previous guidance from their Q3 FY 2025 release. Let's see, they reported $14.1 billion in revenue. That was up 6% year over year. GAAP EPS came in at $1.02, which was a big jump, 20% year over year. And the non-GAAP EPS was $1.47. That was up 4% year over year. So solid numbers setting the stage.
Okay, solid numbers, history of beating. But here's where it gets really interesting for investors, right? How has the market reacted after these earnings?
Yeah, the reaction is key. While our sources don't detail the specific price moves for the last 4 quarters right after earnings, historically Oracle's stock, well, it often shows some pretty noticeable movement. Think maybe 3% to 7%, give or take.
Okay, so definitely some volatility there.
Exactly. And that movement usually reflects how sensitive the market is to their cloud growth figures and, crucially, their future guidance. A beat, especially on cloud, or strong guidance. Stock tends to react positively. Any weakness could see a pullback.
Got it. So beyond the headlines, what are the underlying trends, the key metrics you think people should be watching that really tell Oracle's story?
Right, digging a bit deeper. I think one of the most crucial metrics, maybe the most crucial right now, is Oracle's total remaining performance obligations, RPO.
RPO.
As of Q3 FY 2025, this number stood at an frankly impressive $130 billion, and it soared 62% year over year.
Wow, 62%?
It's huge. And this RPO figure, it's a really significant indicator of, well, robust cloud demand and future revenue that's basically locked in from multi-year contracts. It gives them visibility. We also saw in Q3 FY 2025 their cloud services and license support revenue. That grew by 10% year over year. That's the core growth engine. But on the flip side, cloud license and on-premise license revenues actually fell 10% year over year.
Ah, okay. So that really highlights the shift, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It shows that strategic transition towards cloud-based services in action. The old model shrinks, the new one grows. You also want to watch operating margins. Non-GAAP was 44%, GAAP 31% in Q3. Tells you about efficiency.
So, yeah, it's clearly all about the cloud for Oracle.
Yeah.
Now, were there any major company-specific things happening or broader economic factors during the quarter that might sway these results?
Well, the sources point out that Q3 FY 2025 itself was marked by what Oracle called record cloud demand. That's what drove that big RPO number and showed things were improving operationally. For the quarter we're actually talking about now, Q1 FY 2026, there weren't any major sort of shock events or big M&A news mentioned for Oracle specifically. Seems like a relatively steady operational period internally. But looking broader, demand for enterprise software, especially cloud software, seems pretty resilient. Companies need it. However, those macroeconomic headwinds are definitely a factor across the whole industry.
Yeah.
Higher interest rates, maybe slower overall IT spending growth. These things can affect project timing, how quickly companies sign deals. So even with strong cloud demand, there's that external pressure.
That makes sense. Strong internal pull, but maybe some external drag. So this raises an important question then. What does this all mean for your understanding of Oracle's potential performance heading into this report? How might things play out?
Okay, yeah, let's think about potential scenarios. The bullish case. Well, that relies on seeing continued strength in cloud bookings
Yeah.
and that RPO number converting nicely into actual revenue. If they show that conversion happening quickly, maybe operating margins stay stable or even improve a bit, and of course, if they deliver another beat on top and bottom lines, you could see some positive momentum in the stock.
Yeah.
And critically, better than expected guidance, especially anything positive about cloud or increasingly AI workloads. That would likely really boost sentiment.
Okay, that's the upside. And what about the flip side? You mentioned those headwinds, high expectations. What would a bearish case look like?
Yeah, right. The bearish case. That could happen if maybe that cloud revenue conversion is slower than people hope. Or if the sequential growth quarter over quarter is just sort of modest and disappoints against those high expectations baked into the stock price. Margin compression is another risk. Competition's tough. Or maybe they're investing heavily in R&D, perhaps for AI, and that hits margins. That could lead to guidance that misses forecasts or just sounds more cautious. And finally, yeah, that broader macro uncertainty could always lead to more project delays than anticipated, hitting results harder than expected. That's always a possibility.
Puts it into perspective. So if you had to boil it down, just one or two things to really focus on when that report comes out, what are the absolute must-watch items?
For me, the absolute keys are the cloud revenue growth rate, how fast is that core engine growing, and the remaining performance obligations, RPO. How much future business are they locking in? Those two really tell the story of their momentum. After that, I'd look closely at margins for profitability and definitely the next quarter revenue guidance. The guidance is often pivotal for how the market reacts immediately after the numbers drop.
Cloud growth, RPO, guidance. Got it.
So overall, based on that persistent cloud strength and their recent habit of beating estimates, the general leaning here is probably neutral to slightly bullish, I'd say. Maybe like a 7 out of 10 confidence. The cloud metrics and RPO look good, but expectations are high, and those macro factors could weigh things down. For anyone thinking about trading this, definitely expect some volatility around the earnings release. It tends to move. And watch that guidance commentary really closely. A beat and raise beating estimates and raising future guidance, that tends to be what really moves the stock post-earnings. And as always, manage your risk. Surprises can happen.
That's a really fascinating look at Oracle as we get closer to the report. That ongoing shift to the cloud, those huge RPO numbers, it really does show how important those underlying trends are, much more than just the headline figures. And it really raises, I think, an important question for you listening to consider. How much more runway does Oracle have to leverage its massive existing customer base to really accelerate its cloud growth and push its AI plans forward, especially in such a competitive market? Thank you for joining us on Investing Talk Podcast. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment to support our show. It really helps. And maybe consider buying us that coffee. If there's a specific company you want us to investigate, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed.